September is National Recovery Month, and I'm here this morning with Ryan Essex and Scott Moyers with Gibson Center for Behavioral Change. How are you all doing this morning?
Good.
Well.
Wonderful. So first, let's talk a little bit about how Gibson is highlighting National Recovery Month. I know you guys have a lot of things planned, so how are you guys really doing that?
Well, first I'll give a little history. I mean, National Recovery Month began nationwide in 1989. And it's an opportunity and a month for us to recognize those who are in recovery, the tens of thousands around the world, and to give hope to those that are still struggling that recovery is possible. Mm-hmm. We, every year, engage in a lot of different events in partnership with a lot of local agencies, and I think Scott can talk about when some of those are and what those are.
So Scott, go ahead and talk about, I know you guys have a whole month full of stuff that are going to be taking place for this month.
Yeah, it started off on Saturday. We had Overdose Awareness Day event, which is very meaningful as we sort of commemorate those that we've lost to addiction. And next up, we have a recovery luncheon on September 9th, where we have invited multiple folks to be there. We are gonna have a lived experience panel there to answer questions. We're gonna have a presentation that is intended to sort of dispel myths and provide some accurate information about addiction. And then September 28th is our big event. That's Recovery Fest, and that's just a celebration. We talk a lot about overdose numbers, but this is an opportunity to sort of celebrate. There are 23 million people, Americans, in recovery, and that's an army, and we just want to sort of show people that it's possible and that there is a life after addiction.
That's amazing. And so are these events that the public can take part in and can join, and how does one do that?
Yeah, absolutely. We invite anyone to these events, and you can check out our Facebook page, Gibson Center for Behavioral Change. The Recovery Fest 2024 Facebook page also will have some information about those events as well, or you're always welcome to call us at the Gibson Center, 573-332-0416.
And so talking a little bit deeper about National Recovery Month, talk about the importance of this month and highlighting this, because I could imagine there's so many stigmas and, like you said, myths surrounding recovery and drugs and addiction and all of that. So just really, what's the importance of this?
Well, I've been in the field for 20 years now, and I've seen so many changes in that time. You know, there was a lot of stigma around the work that we do, and there was not a lot of recognition that there was a problem. And if there was, it was on the fringes of society. And in the last 5 to 10 years, there's been such a recognition and an understanding and a more empathetic nature from the public at large about those that are struggling with addiction. And I think that we've just come a long way. I mean, certainly we still have a ways to go. But
yeah, and I'm a person in recovery, and the thing that makes it the most meaningful to me is that we can sort of recognize how far we've come, you know, that we can sort of look back and that our lives were in shambles, but with proper supports and treatment, we can get better. And so it's like we're survivors.
Of course.
And so we get together and sort of celebrate that fact that we're still here.
Of course, and I can imagine that something like this is so helpful to people who are in recovery, who are going through recovery right now, or the people who have been, thankfully out of recovery for all of these years, but still they know that there is support from so many people, and I can imagine that that only helps a person's recovery process.
Yeah, I mean, recovery is about fellowship and helping others, get from where you've been to, hopefully where you are. And that's what so many folks like Scott and others who have that lived experience are able to do. They're able to, come alongside someone who's still struggling and really help them along the path and, kind of show them what the process can be like in a positive way. So I think the fellowship part of it and the ability to be able to, help others is, I think, what's most important for our staff that are in recovery.
Yeah, most definitely. And the last question that I really want to get in before we head to break is, if someone is seeking help, they need help, how can they reach out to you guys and how can they go about that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different ways. I mentioned through our Facebook page, through our phone. You know, they can walk into our clinic at 1112 Linden. It's, you know, we're open 24 hours a day for those that are struggling. They can walk into our, you know, if they're under the influence, they can come in and we'll, you know, bring them in through either our withdrawal management, our detox facility, or our crisis counseling program. So any way that they come to us is no wrong door.
Of course, and I love that you guys are here in the community and helping people who really need that help and are seeking that help. And if you guys want some more information, you can definitely check out our website. We have a whole story on all of the events that are taking place this month. Guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank
we
you.
appreciate it. We'll be back in just a bit.